The email from WTA headquarters landed in the inboxes of tennis journalists on the morning of March 28, 2026, and within hours, the sport was divided. The subject line was innocuous, statement regarding uniform regulations, but the content was anything but diplomatic. For the first time in recent memory, the Women's Tennis Association was publicly calling out one of its biggest sponsors, not for a rules violation, but for what they called the preferential treatment of a single athlete. The target was Nike, the athlete was Eala, and the flashpoint was a custom jersey featuring the sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines. Created specifically for the 20-year-old Filipina's Indian Wells debut, the WTA's complaint was direct. They argued that Nike was violating the spirit of uniform regulations by designing a one-of-a-kind jersey for Eala, while other top players, including world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka, have yet to receive custom kits. The reaction from the locker room was immediate and furious, and at the center of the storm stood a 20-year-old who had done nothing but accept a gift from her sponsor.
Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, it's fantastic.
The white jersey first appeared on Eala during a practice session at Indian Wells. At first glance, it looked like standard Nike tennis apparel, clean lines, and the iconic swoosh, the kind of minimalist design that has defined the brand for decades. But then the camera zoomed in. There, embroidered on the collar, was a delicate sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines, along with the words Laban Alex in elegant script. The jersey was not for sale. It was a one-of-a-kind creation, custom-made for Eala to commemorate her main draw debut at the BNP Paribas Open. Nike had done similar custom work for her before. At Wimbledon, they presented her with a bespoke white hair tie featuring a single sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines. But a custom jersey was different. A custom jersey was visible. A custom jersey was a statement. Nike had a history of creating custom items for its athletes. Naomi Osaka received custom outfits that honored her Japanese and Haitian heritage. Serena Williams had her own line. Rafael Nadal had his signature bull logo. But critics noted a glaring omission. Aryna Sabalenka, the world number 1 for 2 years, still did not have custom Nike kits. Carlos Alcaraz, the ATP world number 1, was promised a custom logo over 18 months ago, and it still had not materialized. When the jersey photo circulated, the reaction in the locker room was immediate. Some players admired the gesture, seeing it as recognition of Eala's cultural significance. Others saw something else: favoritism. A player who had never won a Grand Slam, never cracked the top 20, and had just dropped from number 29 to number 45 in the rankings was receiving treatment that world number 1s could only dream of. The WTA took notice, and they were not happy.
You know, I've only dreamed of making tennis grow in the Philippines, and now I'm bringing a whole new audience to tennis all around the world.
And she's humble, and she works hard.
Humble.
Yes, that's why we like her, you know, because she's the face of the Philippines.
Just aside from her talent.
The WTA's formal statement was carefully worded, but unmistakably pointed. The Women's Tennis Association is committed to maintaining fair and consistent standards for all athletes competing on our tour. It read, "We have become aware of a uniform that appears to violate the spirit of our regulations regarding consistent branding across all competitors. We are reviewing the matter and will provide further guidance as necessary." The statement did not name Nike, and it did not name Eala, but everyone knew who it was about. The subtext was clear. The WTA had rules about what players could wear on court. Logos were limited and branding was standardized. Players could not, for example, wear a shirt with a political message. However, a national flower occupied a gray area, and the WTA was signaling its intent to draw a line. The timing was telling. Just 5 days earlier, reports had surfaced that Nike had created custom t-shirts for Eala featuring the sampaguita and the Nike logo, which had routinely sold out in the Philippines. Eala had even modeled one of the shirts in a recent Vogue Philippines photo shoot. The custom jersey was simply the next step, and the WTA was pushing back. Nike's response was swift. In a statement issued hours after the WTA's announcement, the brand defended its decision to create the custom jersey for Eala. "Nike is proud to celebrate the heritage and culture of all our athletes," the statement read. The sampaguita jersey was created as a one-of-a-kind tribute to Alex Eala's journey and her significance to Filipino tennis. We believe that honoring athletes' backgrounds enriches the sport and inspires the next generation. The statement added, Nike remains committed to working with the WTA to ensure all uniform regulations are respected while continuing to support our athletes in meaningful ways. But the damage was done. The locker room had been divided, and the question that no one could answer was whether Eala had done anything wrong or whether she was simply being punished for being noticed.
Alexandra Eala's dream run continues. She completes a hat-trick of wins over Grand Slam champions. And this, the best of the lot, as she takes down the world number 2 and 5-time major champion, Iga Świątek.
Behind the scenes, the WTA locker room had become a pressure cooker. Players who had been friendly with Eala just minutes earlier now found themselves caught between admiration for her achievements and frustration with a system that seemed to bend around her. The numbers fueling the frustration were impossible to ignore. Aryna Sabalenka, the world number 1 for 2 years, had never received a custom Nike kit. Carlos Alcaraz, the ATP world number 1, had been waiting over 18 months for his promised custom logo. Emma Raducanu had left Nike for Uniqlo, joining Jack Draper, Francis Tiafoe, and Taylor Fritz, all of whom had moved on to other brands in recent years. Yet, Alex Eala, a player ranked number 45 with no Grand Slam titles, was receiving custom jerseys, custom hair ties, and custom t-shirts that sold out instantly in the Philippines. One top 20 player speaking anonymously was blunt. So, I can be world number 1 for 2 years, win Grand Slams and dominate the tour, and I get the same off-the-rack kit as everyone else. But someone who has never made a quarterfinal gets a custom jersey with her country's national flower. How is that fair? Others saw the situation differently. They pointed out that Eala's cultural significance transcended her ranking. The Philippines had never produced a tennis star before. Her fans followed her across continents, turning every tournament into a celebration of Filipino pride. Her jersey outsold every other player in the Miami Open field combined. Coco Gauff had acknowledged the phenomenon. Alex Eala has a huge fan base. She actually would be number 1, probably, she said. I think it's great that Nike is recognizing what Alex represents, but I also understand why other players might feel frustrated. The custom treatment should be for everyone who has earned it.
Like to thank Alex for bringing a new demographic to the sport. I really appreciate I think it's great. I know sometimes it's tough when you're playing against a home crowd, but I think that it's great for the sport. So keep being enthusiastic and keep rooting for your players.
For Nike, the decision to create a custom jersey for Alex Eala was not a random act of generosity. It was a calculated business decision, and the numbers supported it. When Eala made her Wimbledon debut in 2025, Nike presented her with a bespoke white hair tie featuring a single sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines. The accessory was a one-off, not for commercial sale. However, when fans clamored to buy their own, Nike was forced to confirm that the hair tie was custom-made exclusively for Eala. The message was unmistakable. Nike valued Eala's authenticity so much that they would rather keep the item exclusive than commercialize it. The strategy worked. When Nike later released t-shirts featuring the sampaguita and the Nike logo, they routinely sold out in the Philippines. In February 2026, Eala visited the Nike World headquarters in Oregon, where she was welcomed with her own portraits displayed along the legendary tunnel, featuring other Nike global ambassadors across all sports. "History in full bloom," stated one of the portraits. The message was clear. Nike viewed Eala not just as an endorser, but as a strategic asset in their expansion into Asian markets. The Philippine market, with its 115 million people and massive diaspora, was finally paying attention to tennis, and Nike wanted to be the brand associated with that moment. The custom jersey was the latest chapter in this strategy. By creating a one-of-a-kind item for Eala, Nike was sending a message to the Philippines. We see you, we value you, and we are investing in your champion. The return on that investment would be measured in loyalty, in market share, and in the millions of Filipino fans who would choose Nike over any other brand. The WTA's complaint was an inconvenience, but for Nike, the math was simple. Alex Eala was worth the fight. As the controversy swirled, Eala remained focused on the tennis court. Her Indian Wells campaign ended in the fourth round, where she lost to Karolina Muchova in a match that extended her record against Czech players to 0-12. But even in defeat, the attention followed her. When asked about the jersey controversy in a post-match press conference, Eala was characteristically measured. "I am honored that Nike wanted to create something special to celebrate my heritage," she said. "The sampaguita is a symbol of Filipino pride, and it means so much to me to carry that with me on the court. I hope it inspires young Filipinos to chase their dreams." She declined to comment on the WTA statement, directing questions to her management team. "My job is to play tennis. I leave the business stuff to the people who handle that." Behind the scenes, the WTA was already reviewing its uniform regulations. The organization's statement had promised further guidance, and sources indicated that new rules could be coming. The controversy raised fundamental questions about the nature of tennis sponsorships. Should brands be allowed to create custom items for athletes based on their cultural significance? Or should all players receive the same treatment regardless of their marketability? For the WTA, the answer would shape the future of the sport. For Nike, it would determine how far they could go to celebrate their athletes. For Eala, it was another reminder that her impact extended far beyond the baseline. The Czech curse remained unbroken, and her ranking had dropped from number 29 to number 45 after Miami. The road ahead was long and uncertain, but she carried something with her that no ranking could measure, the knowledge that she had become a symbol of something larger than herself. The sampaguita jersey was not just a piece of clothing, it was a recognition of everything she represented. Whether the WTA approved or not, that recognition was already changing tennis. The WTA went off on Nike for creating a custom jersey for Eala, and in doing so, exposed a fault line running through women's tennis. The jersey, featuring the sampaguita, the national flower of the Philippines, was created to honor the 20-year-old Filipina's Indian Wells debut. However, critics noted that world number 1, Aryna Sabalenka, and other top players have yet to receive custom kits from Nike. The WTA statement was carefully worded but unmistakably pointed, accusing the brand of violating the spirit of our regulations regarding consistent branding. Nike defended the decision, calling it a tribute to Eala's heritage and significance to Filipino tennis. The controversy has divided the locker room. Some players see the custom jersey as favoritism for a player who has never won a Grand Slam, while others recognize Eala's cultural significance and the massive fan base she brings to the sport. As the clay season begins, the debate over uniform regulations will continue, but one thing is clear: Eala has become so significant that the WTA is willing to challenge one of its biggest sponsors over her. That, perhaps, is the truest measure of her impact. Should the WTA have called out Nike over Eala's jersey? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe us now for daily WTA news, match breakdowns, and stories that go beyond the scoreline. Because at Rally Radar, every day is match day.